Hey everybody, I'm author R.G. Long and welcome to another episode where I review indie author books to let you know if you're going to be able to find your very next indie author read. So just as a quick refresher, what we do around here and how this works is I'm going to go first look at the cover, then the blurb or the description of the book. We're going to read the first page together, and then we're going to go over the reviews and see what the reviews have to say about the book and see if it's one that we want to check out. So the very first book that we have here is a book by M.R. Kelly called The Elemental Order: Epic Fantasy Adventures and Short Stories. Alright, so just from that you can see that it's a book dealing with some short stories, not necessarily one all-complete story, although you never know. The collection of short stories might have a lot to go in there. So, looking at the cover, I see three people here on the cover. We've got the guy in front, Mr. Green. We'll call him until we find out a different name. Looks like he's got two swords he's wielding. Pretty darn cool there. I like that. The guy on, let's see, I'm going to say to his left is blue, and he has got some like, you know, like not katana things, like claw things going on here, and magical claw things. I don't know if that's magic or ice. I would probably assume, elemental order. I'm going to assume magical ice, or magical water. You never know with blue. It could be a little confusing. And then behind him, we have a guy in red who has got a axe that is absolutely on fire, which would seem like it would be bad for the person wielding it, except for I am sure this guy can control it, or like his hand doesn't get burned, because his hand is like super close to the flames. I would be concerned, me personally. That's just me. But okay, the Elemental Order. That's the cover. Let's look down at the description then. All right, the description, reading off of Amazon. With the world on the brink of all-out war, it seems that finally the forces for evil have the upper hand. The Elemental Order has always stood for neutrality, striving to maintain the balance at all costs, but as soon as the one war ends, another begins, and the fragile peace unravels. Tomian, Phyllis, and Cortan, new agents of the Order, are sent out into the chaotic world around them to keep the peace, preserving life as they best can. Forming a bond stronger than any seen before, the various casts of magic users, the trio face a series of adventuring, pitting against them all manner of creatures and foes alike. The Age of Power draws near its end, but will the Elemental Order do enough to survive its cataclysmic end? This is the first collection of stories following the budding battle mages Tomian, Phyllis, and Cortain. Follow along as this first collection introduces their humble beginnings and early adventures and contains 6 stories full of magic and mayhem. All right. You know, as far as descriptions go, I like it. We now know who our Mr. Green, Mr. Blue, and Mr. Red are. Tomian, Phileas, and Cortain. So they're agents of the Elemental Order, sent out to keep peace. I like the description. It doesn't give you away too much, and like I said, not a lot of proper nouns. We need names. That's good. So that's really helpful. Kind of gets me interested to see like who they're going to fight. We've got maybe some creatures they're going to fight, some enemies they're going to get over. Okay, yeah, I like that description. That's well done. Well done, MR. Okay, and now, the first page. So I'm reading it on my phone here. So I'm going to look at the first little bit, find a good natural break, and we'll read it together. 1. The Testing. Arakar squinted down from his balcony at the top of the tower. Frowning, he watched as the latest batch of recruits arrived. In years gone by, there would have been a flood of wannabe initiates, all seeking the same thing, power. But now there was only a lonely wagon traveling along the road. Drawing a sliver of magic into himself, he enabled his vision, inspecting the potential recruits. So few. He reached out with his telepathic arts and skimmed their minds, reading their intent. So eager. But that will change soon. Shaking his head, his vision returned to normal. He left the balcony of his private rooms, returning to the comforts inside. As master of the tower, he lived in the uppermost level. From beyond the tower, the structure appeared slender, with little space to accommodate even a single wagon. But the tower could utilize more than one plane of existence, and the space inside shifted according to Arkar's need. The tower was one of many belonging to the Elemental Order, which is an ancient order devoted to the arcane arts and maintaining the balance of the world. They were a neutral group, well respected through the world. All right, there you go. So it used to be that lots of people wanted to be recruited. Now it looks like not so much. We have, it seems like the master of the tower, Arkar, who is disappointed with the amount of recruits. Okay, so there we go. There is our first page. It's got 25 global ratings, and I'm looking at the reviews here. We have one 5-star review, so well done there. Let's see. Amanda Beth Hargan says, good read. It's an interesting start to a big adventure. Hope to see more soon. I like where this is going. To the victor go the spoils. I wonder if that is a quote from the book that he's talking about here. Well, I'm looking at M.R. Kelly's books that he's written. It looks like there are 4 other books in his library that he's already published, so that's pretty cool. Maybe a book that you might want to go check out. So yeah, if you like a collection of short stories, interesting read here. That looks cool. So well done there, MR. That looks great. Yeah, you'll find the book link to that in the description below. Okay, so let's look at the second book, Shattered Sacrifice by Emily Huffman. It's going to be a little different because this is a book that you can get for free on BookFunnel. Okay, so we're just going to go what we can here without seeing any reviews, so we'll look at it that way. Shattered Sacrifice is the name of the book. So I'm looking at the cover, again, looking at it here with you on the screen. We have a sword plunging into what looks like the Kraken. Like, some of it red, some of it blue. There's maybe some magic or just some gleam coming off the sword. Pretty cool. So that's all we can get from the book. I don't see anything like hidden in the waves or anything like that, but cool cover. So we got a giant sword gonna stab a Kraken. There we go. All right, nice. And the description starts with, death is just the beginning. Glicinia Tideborn knew 2 things. 1, she wasn't dead anymore. And 2, she wouldn't let anyone hurt her ever again. After being sacrificed to the Kraken, nailed it. By her family, rough. Glicinia Tideborn never expected to have a future. Given an unexpected second chance, she wants to run far away from the people who sentenced her to death. But the Kraken still demands its sacrifice, and a dark whisper in her mind has different plans for her. Will Glicinia do what the voice asks of her, or is she destined to die again? All right. So I can't do any reviews, and I haven't downloaded the book yet, but it looks fantastic. It looks neat, and looks like something that you might want to pick up. And again, you can get it for free just by clicking the link down below and getting into that book as well. So those are our 2 author highlights for the week. Look like really good read you might want to get into. One for free and one on Amazon. Go and check them out. Who knows, you might have just found your new favorite epic fantasy indie author. Until then, I am just the regular indie author around here. My name is Author R.G. Long. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, I write the books. Enjoy the journey.